I've spent a lot of time recently thinking about our systems and our strategies and how all the things that we do at Timberview fit together. And I've had teachers express a desire to understand, well, how do each of these strategies that we do at Timberview, how do these things fit together, and what is the big picture of success here? And so I've been thinking about different mental models, and one of them that came to mind comes from John Wooden, who was a very successful basketball coach at UCLA many, many years ago, legendary and one of my favorite authors on leadership. And he had in place what was called the Pyramid of Success. So I got to thinking about the things that we do at Timberview and the foundation that we lay for student success and the ultimate goal that we're looking for. And I thought, maybe the Pyramid of Success is a good mental model for us to explore in terms of the things we do at Timberview. So I'm going to share with you a little bit of that thought and kind of put it into a pictorial representation for you. So at the bottom of the pyramid, we have our foundational things that we do. Think about our daily personal habits and actions, the little things that we do each day to develop what we call our culture. Our culture is the things that we do on a daily basis. And so we think about some of these concepts, and I'm not going to belabor each of them, but you see each of these words pop up on the screen here, and you think those are things that are characteristics of Timberview, and you may be able to think of some others as well. But when I look at all these words here on the screen, what comes to my mind is actually this: the Timberview way. So think about that for a minute. I feel proud. I feel safe. I feel important. I am engaged in school and in learning. And I have purpose. So those are elements of the Timberview way. And the Timberview way is a way of describing our culture, the things that we do on a daily basis. Another piece of our Pyramid of Success, and on the foundational tier of that, is our climate. So culture and climate are two different things. Culture is what we do, and the climate is how we feel about what we do. And so our environment has a lot to do with that. And we do some things to make our environment awesome at Timberview. And awesome is kind of the word I like to use to describe that. Magical is another word that I've used. Our houses bring a neat dimension to our campus. They bring a home within a home, a family within a family for students and for staff. And so that's a cool thing that we do. Our transformed learning spaces. Teachers have transformed spaces. We're transforming spaces in the building as we speak. And those are things that we do to make the environment exciting for students, for staff, and for anybody who experiences us. We celebrate our diversity. Think about TMS Hall of Nations. Think about the things that we're doing for Black History Month. Think about the things that we're doing to celebrate all of the different cultures represented on our campus. Student leadership is a key to a positive learning environment. We have some great student leaders at Timberview. And then we brought in our staff committees this year, and our staff committees have stepped up and led and done some really awesome things to help make our campus a more positive and stimulating environment and improve the climate. Then we look at our student vision of a future story. Our students have to have in mind what the end result is going to look like. We've got to create or help them create a vision. What is my future story as a student? What am I going to do with my life? And why is what I'm doing here at the school important to that? And so some strategies that we have in place to support that. We have career studies for students. We have student goal setting in place across our grade levels. Avid is a wonderful program and set of strategies that helps us out. And then with that comes college colors and celebrating college colors and college awareness. We have a host of digital tools available to our students so that our students are able to familiarize themselves with accessible tools that they can use in school and also in their future careers. We have a lot of different learning strategies in place. ELM is a very popular learning strategy that gets our kids into project-based learning. Vested puts a sequence in place to help our students have more interesting lessons. We have data teams in place to help our teachers to be able to track individual student progress. And then we have the SI, or Student Intervention Program, to help provide additional interventions for struggling learners. we get to that next level, we're looking at our positive behavior support. So what are the things that we're going to do to reinforce those foundational behaviors? So you have the foundational tier, and now we're going up to that next tier. What are the systems that we have in place to help support those daily things that should be occurring? So that's the positive behavior support. You're familiar with Claw Cash. That's all over the place. And then our house points and house cup. People ask, how do the houses tie into positive behavior supports or PBI? Well, they do. They're a positive reinforcement that we provide for our students and our staff. And then the House Cup is a culminating event at the end of the year to celebrate student success. Student shout-outs, staff shout-outs. We have staff awards, and then the granddaddy of them all at the end of the year, the Timberview Honors that celebrate student character and student leadership, not just student academic success. And then we have our restorative or relational practices that we have in place. So these are not just in place to restore people who have fallen by the wayside. They're also relational practices that help educate our students and our staff as to how we conduct ourselves at Timberview Middle School. So we have our classroom circles in place. Teachers have really taken off with this, and it's been awesome. We have our classroom agreements in place where teachers and students work together to decide what's important to do in the classes and how we're going to treat one another and interact with one another. We have differentiated discipline. Training is coming to our admin team on March the 1st. Rufus is going to come back and talk with us about differentiated discipline, other ways to address students' behaviors besides sending them out of class. And so we're looking forward to that. Conflict resolution strategies. And yes, guess what? PBIS. So PBIS ties in with the restorative practices. They all work together to support one another. And so when we're thinking about our pyramid of success, we have our bottom tier, our foundational level, and then we have the things in place that support our foundational level, keep us in check, checks and balances, and all of that leads then to what we're looking for at the top, the vision, the healthy school community with a fine tradition of student success. So let's think about that for just a minute. What does a healthy school community with a tradition of student success look like? How can we measure that? I like to measure it looking at our graduating classes. How are they performing and what are they doing? So our class of 2017, and I've shared this data with you before, but this class was in the 6th grade when we opened. This coming year we'll have the class that was in the 5th grade when we opened, spent all 4 years with us. I can't wait to see the things that they've accomplished and the data we're able to share with you on that. But you've seen this before. 27% of last year's graduating class came through Timberview. Many of them went to other schools outside of Timber Creek, but Timber Creek's the easiest one for us to grab and measure. Where of the top 15 graduates, 44% were Timberview students, and of the top 10 graduates, 7 of them, 70% of the top 10 came through Timberview Middle School. There are their beautiful faces. The top 2, the valedictorian and salutatorian, came through Timberview. That's a great data point, I think. The Principals Award, Male and Female Falcon of the Year, both came from Timberview. The Prom King and Prom Queen, we're looking at social and emotional learning now. Those both came from Timberview. If you like looking at test scores, it's not my favorite thing to look at, but it can be an indicator. Our test scores are really good too. And here's the thing. What we found is that as we work on the social and emotional, as we work on the positive environment, as we work on the positive relationships, the test scores do go up because our kids are in class more, they're in class with great teachers who they know care about them, and they're more motivated to learn and grow and do better. TMS Campus Awards, we've got a host of them, and we'll continue to get those. We have attendance awards. We have Green Ribbon School for recycling. NASSP came and found us and asked us to be a Breaking Ranks Showcase School in 2016. We did not apply for that award. They found us. We're the first Blue Zones approved middle school in Texas. Shows that we care about health and wellness and things that support our students' overall mental health as well as their academic learning. We're National Forum Texas School to Watch. We did apply for that. We went through a rigorous process to be selected for that, including school visits and in-depth, deep dive into our data and our information and interviews with our staff, our students, our families, all kinds of stakeholders, and we got that award. We're doing things that are getting people's attention. Future Focused Leaders by Dr. Bill Ziegler. He featured us in Chapter 8 of his book. We did not find him. He came and found us. and put us in his book. And then our Keller ISD Teacher of the Year, Erica Parnell, who was such a great representative for us last year and continues to be. And so these are just a handful of things that we've done really well at Timberview. You can think of many, many others. Maybe we're going to continue to look at not just high school success, but post-high school success as our kiddos go on to college and start to graduate from the universities, or as our kiddos go into careers. Maybe we start to track the number of students who come back to see us because they miss us. Maybe we look at, eventually, the number of students who return to us as employees at Timberview Middle School. We have a couple of those already, as a matter of fact, and they're awesome. Students returning as guest speakers. We've had some of that already. It's wonderful. Maybe we're looking even at some leading data, the student attendance, student surveys, parent surveys, staff surveys, student academics and student behavior, student awards. There's just a host of things that we can continue to look at to measure that healthy school community with a tradition of success. So there it is, TMS Pyramid of Success. Giving it to you in a nutshell, I think this gives us a nice picture of all the things that we do and how they work together in concert to help our school be successful.